We'll take a look around college baseball today. Look inside the Big 12. We'll have your matchup for today and keys to the game. And then we'll take you behind the scenes in the TCU Dugout Show.
This ball's hit the deep right field. See you later. A two-run home run for Ray Taylor.
Now it's time for your TCU pregame show. Now let's head back to the studio in Fort Worth and hear from today's hosts.
And live from the TCU studios on the beautiful campus of TCU just outside downtown Fort Worth. I'm your studio host, Travis Puckett, and this is the TCU baseball pregame show. The Frogs are in Los Angeles this weekend to face top-ranked UCLA. It's the first true road series for TCU on the season. First pitch for today's game will be at the top of the hour. TCU will be looking to rebound after losing to UCLA yesterday 10-2. There's much more to come on the pregame show. Next, I'll have a look at scores from around the country. We'll have a look at what's going on in the world of TCU basketball on both sides of the court. We'll head out to Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles and talk with the voice of TCU baseball, Chuck LaMondola, and Connor Wanhanen for an on-site analysis of today's matchup. I'll recap last night's game, talk about the history between the Frogs and the Bruins, and have a look at the starting pitching matchups. It's TCU and top-ranked UCLA coming up at the top of the hour. Stay tuned as the TCU baseball pregame show continues next on KTCU.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
And welcome back to the TCU Baseball pregame show. I'm studio host Travis Puckett. TCU is on the road this weekend as they face top-ranked UCLA. The Bruins won 10-2 last night. So with the win, the Bruins could win the series. And with the win today, TCU could even the series and hopefully avoid the sweep. First pitch coming up at the top of the hour. It's still early in the college baseball season. There are a lot of other matchups taking place across the nation. Let's have a look at your top 25 scoreboard. We start right here in the Metroplex, where number 15 Louisville faced Michigan in the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series Tournament at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Louisville defeated Nebraska 4-2 in yesterday's matchup, while Michigan lost 6-1 to number 16 Florida State in Game 1 of the tournament yesterday morning. In today's matchup, the Wolverines pick up a win in their first win in the series as they top Louisville 8-5. Louisville will face Auburn tomorrow morning, and Michigan will face Kansas State tomorrow evening. Let's head to the Jacks College Baseball Classic at VyStar Ballpark in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where we find our next matchup, which featured number 2 LSU and Notre Dame. The Tigers picked up an opening victory in the tournament yesterday with a 14-7 win over Indiana, thanks to a 9-run top of the 8th. In today's matchup, LSU led 7-0 after 4 innings, and the Tigers kept the Fighting Irish in check the rest of the way. A 9-4 final in that one. Again, the final 9-4 LSU over Notre Dame. The Tigers are now 7-0 on the season. LSU faces Central Florida tomorrow afternoon to close out the series. Number 18, Kentucky, on the road for the second weekend in a row. This time they're in Evansville, Indiana to face Evansville. Today is a doubleheader for the Wildcats and the Purple Aces. Game 1 started earlier this afternoon and saw Kentucky win 5-3. Game 2 will be getting underway in about 45 minutes. Clemson, South Carolina is our next stop. The Tigers start the season with an 8-game homestand this weekend. Clemson is hosting Bryant. The Tigers picked up the 9-3 win yesterday, and it looked like Bryant might pull off the upset as the game was tied at 3 heading into the bottom of the 8th. That's when Clemson started playing station-to-station baseball. They score 6 runs in the bottom of the inning to win 9-3. They held Bryant to just 2 hits in the game, and in today's matchup, Clemson leads 5-1 in the 6th. It's a 4-game series this weekend at Alex Rodriguez Park at Marklight Field in Miami, where number 23 Miami hosts Lafayette. Today is the doubleheader of the series. Miami all over Lafayette 14-4. They lead in Game 1. Game 2 will begin at 5 this evening, and Miami will be looking to move to 8-0 on the season if they can pick up a win in Game 2. It's opening weekend in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where Xavier is in town to face number 8 Arkansas, who picked up their only loss of the season last Saturday against TCU, in which TCU won 5-4. The Razorbacks won last night 5-2. They are looking to win the series. First pitch was at 1, and this one is still underway with Arkansas leading 6-5, and I believe that one is in the 7th. It's the Battle of North Carolina as East Carolina hosts number 10 North Carolina. This is an unusual series with all the games played at a different site in the state of North Carolina. Last night's matchup was played in Greenville, North Carolina, which is the home of ECU. The Tar Heels shut out the Pirates 10-0 in 8 innings, thanks to a great complete game performance by starter Jason DeCaro. Today's matchup is a neutral site game for both teams, as well as it's being played in Durham, North Carolina, which is the home of the Duke Blue Devils. And then tomorrow's matchup will be in Chapel Hill with North Carolina hosting. It's a very unusual series. Again, today's matchup in Durham, ECU holds a 3-run lead over the Tar Heels. It is 6-3 ECU in the 6th. West Virginia snuck into the top 25 rankings this week, and the Mountaineers are on the road for the first time as they face Liberty in Lynchburg, Virginia. Today's a doubleheader. Game 1 started at noon. West Virginia wins that one 2-0, and first pitch for Game 2 will be getting underway at the top of the hour. Texas A&M continues their weekend series as they host Penn at Bluebell Park in College Station. The Aggies had a thriller on last night as they win in a walk-off thanks to an RBI double by shortstop Boston Kellner to push the Aggies to a 1-0 win. We'll see if today has another exciting finish. First pitch was earlier this afternoon, and right now it looks to be that Pennsylvania is holding a 1-0 lead in the 4th. I would be surprised if A&M doesn't get on the board in this one. More SEC action now. It's the Bulldogs versus the Bulldogs in Athens, Georgia, where Georgia run-ruled Samford 11-1 in 7 innings yesterday. Moving ahead to today, Georgia scored 4 runs at the bottom of the 4th. They've been kept off the board in the last 2 innings, though. Right now, Georgia leads 10-4 in the 7th. The 4th-ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs look to stay undefeated against Delaware as they continue to host the Blue Hens in Starksville, Mississippi. And the Bulldogs won 9-2 yesterday afternoon. In today's matchup, Mississippi State looking to win the series as they lead 8-0 in the bottom of the 6th. We now head to North Carolina for our next matchup. It's an opening weekend for North Carolina State as they host Ivy League member Princeton at Doak Field in Raleigh. The Wolfpack scored 4 in the bottom of the 8th in Friday's matchup as they defeat the Tigers 6-4. It's a doubleheader today. North Carolina State wins Game 1 16-1. Game 2 is underway and it's scoreless in the 2nd. Atlanta's our next stop for number 5 Georgia Tech as they continue their 4-game series against the Stony Brook Seawolves. Yesterday was the doubleheader and saw Georgia Tech win both games 14-5 and 10-5 respectively. Today's matchup started at 2. Stony Brook leads by 1, 3-2 in the 4th. Back in the Lone Star State, number 3 Texas hosts Michigan at Disch Falk Field in Austin. The Longhorns picked up an 8-1 victory over the Spartans yesterday. First pitch for today was at 2, and the score is tied at 1 in the 5th. And if Texas wins, they will move on. They will move to 6-0 on the season. Coppin State had their weekend series against Lafayette canceled last weekend due to rain, I believe. That means they've only played in 1 game heading into this weekend against number 21 Oklahoma. Coppin State lost to Mount St. Mary's on Tuesday night in Largo, Maryland, and also lost to the Sooners last night 22-1. In 7, with Oklahoma scoring in every inning. This is the first time that both programs have met. First pitch for today was at 2, and the Sooners are in control again, 4-0 Oklahoma in the bottom of the 3rd. First pitch got underway at the top of the hour in Knoxville as number 13 Tennessee hosts Kent State. It's early in that one. Tennessee's jumped out to an early 1-0 lead. Number 22 Wake Forest started out started the season out of the country last weekend as they played in the Puerto Rico Challenge. The Demon Deacons left the weekend 2-1 with wins over Washington and Indiana State. Wake Forest is back at home this weekend with a series against Siena. First pitch was at 3 from David F. Couch Ballpark in Winston-Salem. And again, that one got underway not too long ago. It's still scoreless in the first. It's the SEC versus the ACC and the M&G Bank College Baseball Showdown at Globe Life Field in Arlington. It's number 9 Auburn versus number 16 Florida State. Auburn plays in the state of Texas twice this season, with the next time not coming until May, when they will head to College Station to face SEC rival Texas A&M. Florida State picked up a 6-1 victory over Michigan in Game 1 of the tournament yesterday. They are looking for more this afternoon as they face Auburn. First pitch was at 3, and there's no score in the first. Coastal Carolina has a doubleheader today as they host the base. It's not a doubleheader. It was going to be, but the Chanticleers will face Illinois this afternoon. This one just got underway, and it's scoreless in the first. Games taking place later this afternoon. Kennesaw State at number 12 Florida. That one will be at 4:30, and it will be the Round Rock Classic. And it's number 11, or the Round Rock Classic is number 11 Oregon State and number 20 Southern Miss. TCU will face Loyola Marymount on Monday before heading home next weekend for next weekend's opening series at Lupton against New Haven. And the Lions are struggling this season. They are now 1-4 after losing to Washington yesterday 8-3. First pitch for today will be at 5 with Loyola Marymount hoping they can salvage at least one more win before facing TCU on Monday afternoon. That's a look at scores from around the country. I'll take a break. When I come back, I'll have a look at what's going on in the world of TCU men's and women's basketball. I'm studio host Travis Puckett, and the TCU Baseball Pregame Show continues next on FM 88.7, The Choice.
Maybe he was born with his witty humor. Some people bring joy wherever they go, some whenever they go. Or as a frontier newspaper reporter. There's nothing to be learned from the second kick of a mule. Maybe he got his insights from being a riverboat captain. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Wherever he went, Mark Twain found humor all around. Humor. Pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
Woo! Let's get crazy! In movies, when someone at a party jumps into a pool fully dressed, everyone cheers them on and jumps in too. Just so you know, in real life parties, nobody jumps in after you. It just looks stupid.
Come on, jump in. Come on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And live from the KTCU studios in Fort Worth, this is the TCU Baseball Pregame Show. I'm your studio host, Travis Puckett. TCU is in Los Angeles this weekend as they face UCLA in Game 2 of this weekend series this afternoon. First pitch coming up at the top of the hour. And it's late February, and March Madness is just right around the corner. Since conference baseball hasn't started yet, I want to go ahead and take a look at what's going on in the world of TCU basketball as the regular season comes to a close. Let's start on the women's side of the court. The women defeated number 19 West Virginia 59-50 on Sunday at Schollmeyer for their record 40th consecutive home win. The Frogs also won their midweek road game against Houston 72-50 was the final in that one. The women are back in action tomorrow afternoon at Schollmeyer as they host Iowa State, looking for their 4th straight win and their 41st consecutive home win. After Sunday's matchup, the women will head to Cincinnati for a Wednesday evening matchup against the Bearcats, and they will return home on March 1st and close out the regular season by hosting Baylor. The Phillips 66 Women's Big 12 Championship will take place from March 4th through the 8th at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. This season, the women are 24-4 overall, and they are 12-3 in conference play, and they will be looking to win the regular season and tournament titles once again this year after winning both for the first time in program history last season. The TCU men's basketball team will be in action this afternoon as they host Big 12 rival right here at Schollmeyer Arena. Tip-off for today coming up at the top of the hour. The men are coming off an 82-71 loss to Central Florida on Tuesday night in Orlando. The Frogs trailed by 14 at the half, and they were not able to get things going as they still seek their first win in Orlando in series history. After today's matchup, the men will host Arizona State Tuesday at 8. Next Saturday, the men head to Bramlage Coliseum in Manhattan, Kansas to face Kansas State. Coming into today's matchup, the Frogs are 16-10 overall, 6-7 in conference play. The men have never finished above 500 in conference play in the Jamie Dixon era. TCU would have have to go 4-1 over their last 5 games to make that happen. The Phillips 66 Big 12 men's tournament begins March 10th and runs through March 14th. That's a look at what's going on in the world of TCU men's and women's basketball. I'll take a break. When I come back, we'll head out to Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles, check in with the voice of TCU baseball, Chuck LaMondola, and analyst Connor Wanhanen. It's a matchup of 2 top 10 teams. It's number 7 TCU as they get ready to face number 1 UCLA. First pitch coming up at 4. I'm studio host Travis Puckett, and the TCU Baseball Pregame Show continues in a moment on KTCU.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman. You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much, for taking me to the doctor when I broke my foot,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for taking you to your therapies, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. That's why AARP gives you the information to provide even better care for your loved one. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
And this is the TCU Baseball Pregame Show. It's the first true road series of the season for TCU as they're in Los Angeles to take on the top-ranked UCLA. And it's been a tough test so far. TCU coming off a tough 10-2 loss to the Bruins last night. But let's head out to Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles for a live analysis from the voice of TCU Baseball, Chuck LaMondola.
Thank you very much, Travis, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Los Angeles, California. Beautiful day here today, much different than last night where it was in the 40s and rather chilly, but sunny, close to 70 degrees here today, a little bit of a breeze, and hopefully as the weather turns warmer and it's much nicer, the tide will turn for the Horned Frogs, Connor.
Yeah, going to be another big test for TCU this afternoon, trying to get back even up this series. It was a really impressive showing from UCLA across the board last night. Logan Redeman was fantastic on the mound getting things started, and the offense did what they have been expected to do all year. This is the number 1 team in the country for a reason, Chuck. We saw it on full display last night.
And for TCU, they've been kind of in an offensive funk, really. We talked about it last night. Since about halfway through the Arkansas game, the Horned Frogs have really struggled to score runs. And this is a game that they really need to try and break out on top and then allow them to maybe get up some breathing room between them and the Bruins.
Yeah, we talked about it last night, but a lot of early takes and counts where you just fall behind and then you feel like you've got to play catch up. And, not to mention you had a guy last night in Redeman that was up to 98 miles an hour, a 4-pitch mix that was legitimate. That's a tough ask any night. But for TCU, looking to just string some at-bats together, try and play from ahead. Feels like so often over the last several games you've been trying to chase, and it's just hard to do that offensively, especially when your identity is moving around on the base paths.
Well, the crowd has risen, and the teams have stood out in front of the dugout for the national anthem. We'll send it back to Travis, and the KTCU studios will be back here to give you the first pitch shortly after 4 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Chuck and Connor. It's going to be a great one from Los Angeles, number 7, TCU, and number 1, UCLA. I've got more coming up on the TCU Baseball Pregame Show. Keep it right here on FM 88.7, The Choice.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, he's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's another hit from the Breathe Easies.
Come on and clean up the mold. Clean up the mold. Mold can trigger asthma in kids young and old. Come on and clean up the mold. Clean up the mold in your house.
This song may be fun, but childhood asthma is not. Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as cleaning up the mold and mildew in your house. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
And this is the TCU Baseball Pregame Show. I'm studio host Travis Puckett. We were moments away from first pitch between number 7 TCU and top-ranked UCLA from Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. UCLA won yesterday 10-2, so the Bruins are going to be looking to win the series while TCU looks to avoid losing 4 games in a row. Before first pitch, let's have a look at how last night's matchup went. TCU had lefty Mason Brassfield on the mound to start the game. Brassfield had a solid outing against Arkansas last Saturday, but Brassfield struggled yesterday, going just 1 2/3 innings. He allowed 5 runs. They were all earned. On 7 hits, he walked 1 and struck out 2. After 3 full innings, UCLA led 7-0. One of the lone highlights in yesterday's game was TCU right fielder Chase Brunson picking up his first home run of the season in the top of the 4th, and that would make it 7-1 UCLA. The Bruins would add 3 more in the bottom of the 5th, and TCU would add just 1 in the top of the 9th. TCU had to use 5 pitchers yesterday as UCLA showed why they are one of the number 1 teams in the nation, and Brassfield did pick up the loss for TCU. Today will be the 12th matchup between these two teams, with TCU leading the series 6-5. The previous weekend series was 2 years ago when TCU swept UCLA at Lupton, and last night's loss breaks a 5-game winning streak in the series for the Frogs, which dates back to 2015. The Frogs are now 2-3 on the road in the series. These two teams were supposed to play in UCLA in a tournament in 2018, but the matchup was canceled. It's a series that dates back to 2010 when these two teams first met in the College World Series. And I believe this is the first time in series history that either team has been ranked number 1 when facing each other. Let's have a look at today's starters for today. First, TCU will send righty Lance Davis to toe the rubber. Davis is a redshirt freshman transfer from Arkansas. He is 6'4", 215 pounds, and hails from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Davis's last action was on Sunday against Oklahoma, and in that match, Davis pitched 3 innings. He allowed 3 runs. All were earned on 5 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 1 and took the loss as the Frogs came up short 12-2 against the Oklahoma Sooners in the Shriners Children College Classic at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Davis was redshirted his lone season at Arkansas last year and has never faced UCLA. The Bruins will counter by sending righty Michael Barnett to the mound. Barnett is in his senior year. He is 6'4", 210 pounds from Lafayette, California. Barnett's last action was last Saturday against UC San Diego. In that matchup, Barnett pitched 5 innings. He allowed 1 run. It was earned. On 2 hits, he walked 2, struck out 4, and picked up the win in the Bruins' 7-2 victory over the Toreros. Barnett has faced TCU before. It was in that series at Lupton Stadium back in 2024. In that game, Barnett pitched 5 innings. He allowed 8 runs. All of them were earned on 13 hits. He walked 1, struck out none, and TCU took the loss as TCU run-ruled UCLA 13-3 in 7 innings to complete the sweep. That's a look at yesterday's matchup, the series history between TCU, UCLA, as well as today's starting pitchers. I'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the first pitch from today's game taking place at Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. That's where number 7 TCU and number 1 UCLA are about to square off. I appreciate you tuning into the pregame show. Remember, you can join us 30 minutes prior to first pitch for the pregame show. I'm studio host Travis Puckett, and first pitch is coming up next on FM 88.7, The Choice.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for a social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
You know
Kids will be kids.
Oh, I don't know why they're trying to make a big deal of it. It's just a harmless rite of passage.
If she didn't want to be picked on, she shouldn't wear that thing on her head.
If he's going to dress that way, he's just asking for the extra attention.
It's just a stage. All kids face some bullying. They'll get over it.
That girl, she just brings it on herself. I don't feel bad for her at all.
It's just a stage. It's just a harmless rite of passage.
Don't validate. Eliminate. All students in Texas deserve a safe learning environment without the threats of bullying. I'm Noel Candelaria, president of the Texas State Teachers Association. It's up to us as educators, as parents, as adults, to stand up on behalf of bullied students. Identify, intervene, and advocate. One caring adult can make all the difference.
Visit NEA.org/bullyfree, a message from the Texas State Teachers Association.
Your home for TCU baseball is right here. KTCU 88.7 FM, Fort Worth. Go Frogs.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that.
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right. I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. I'm Paul George. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke F-A-S-T. Fast. Life is why. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
TCU is playing in their first true road series of the season. They are in Los Angeles to take on top-ranked UCLA. It's game 2 of the weekend. We are so glad that you've tuned in. Let's head back out to Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles for the first pitch of today's game. Chuck?
Thank you very much, Travis. And once again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles, California, as we get set for the second game of this 3-game series. TCU coming off a disappointing loss last night, game that they trailed from the get-go on and never really were in the game at all, quite frankly, hoping that things are a lot different here today. The weather's much better. We talked about that earlier, but for TCU, Connor, I really think there are two things that have to happen. One, they got to get off to a good start offensively, get a lead for the first time since the Arkansas game, really. And then second, they got to have a good pitching performance from Lance Davis, who struggled his first time to the mound last weekend against Oklahoma. But the TCU starting pitching has caused their team to fall behind early, and it's been a chore to try and catch up.
Well, there's a reason why we sound like a broken record every year, and how things start and end with starting pitching a lot of the time. For Lance Davis, just 3 innings last weekend against Oklahoma, gave up 5 hits and 4 earned runs in that start, his first start as a Horned Frog. And you're exactly right. You're looking not only for a little bit more length as well, but to try and limit some of that offensive output. Going to be a big ask against, especially what we saw last night, this UCLA lineup that top to bottom can do some damage. But you got to have some confidence in what you throw out there on the mound to get things started. Going to start with the right arm with Davis today.
We keep talking about the fact that it's a long baseball season, but at some point you got to start to not only accumulate wins, but you got to pick up wins against teams like UCLA. We knew it was going to be a tough start to the season with these first 8 games, with 6 of them coming against really good quality competition. And for the Horned Frogs, they got the signature wins in the first 2 games, looking for one here in their first true road test.
Yeah, you got a couple more opportunities here, another game on Monday again. But as far as the process is concerned, though, you and I have alluded to it, but the way that these last couple of games have gone, you're looking to just right the ship. Now, you're not going to get all the way back to 100% just in one day. Of course, that'd be fantastic, and the Horned Frog fans would love it. But you're just trying to make strides, continued improvement, and it is a very young season, and there's a lot of ways left to go. And this is a very front-loaded schedule as you're looking at it top to bottom for TCU. But all those things could come off as excuses. It all comes down to just how you execute today.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's take a look at the starting pitcher for UCLA tonight, and that will be Michael Barnett, who will get the start, the right-hander from Lafayette, California.
The right-handed senior picked up a win last week. He went 5 innings, gave up just 2 hits and 1 earned run, held San Diego to a 133 batting average over the course of those 5 innings. Has seen the Horned Frogs before, like yesterday's starter Logan Redeman. TCU saw Michael Barnett in a home game at Lupton Stadium the second week of the 2024 season, and the Horned Frogs got after him offensively. He went 5 innings in that start. TCU tallied 13 hits and 8 earned runs, did not strike out against him, so he's obviously looking for a different outcome, but the Horned Frogs can lean on that. I'm sure they're certainly looking at the tape from that game as well to see how they attacked him. That's the type of start they're looking for offensively.
The Bruins have taken the field here at Jackie Robinson Stadium, and we're just about set for baseball. The lineup that Barnett will face today for the Horned Frogs has Cole Kramer leading it off. He'll be followed by Sawyer Strohschneider in right field. Chase Brunson back in center field today. He bats in the number 3 spot. Lucas Franco, the shortstop, bats cleanup. Batting 5th is the first baseman Rob Leddington. Batting 6th behind the plate, Nolan Traeger. Brady Dallimore, the DH, looking for his first hit of the year, will bat in the number 7 spot. Jack Bell at third base for the Horned Frogs bats 8th, and batting 9th, Colton Griffin in left field for TCU. The Horned Frogs dressed out in their light road gray uniforms. Cursive Horned Frogs in purple across the chest, outlined in white. Same for the numerals on the back to go along with the purple caps. For UCLA, they're in all blue, kind of a royal blue almost, with yellow cursive letters across the chest spelling out UCLA. Same for the numerals on the back. They also have a stripe up the side of the trousers, and again, like last night, all of the players wearing their pant legs up and showing stirrups that are blue and yellow here this afternoon. All grass facility here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. 330 down the lines, 370 to the power alleys, 395 to straightaway center field, an 8-foot high fence all around the outfield. We saw a number of home runs hit in last night's ball game, but once the sun went down, the ball did not carry nearly as much today. It'll be played totally in sunshine, so the ball, at least in batting practice, was carrying a little bit better than we saw in last night's ball game. So it's going to be important for both of these pitchers to try and keep the ball down in the strike zone.
Yeah, it is really only carrying to the corners. You look at left center field or right center field, those balls that are hit out to center, it's going to maybe still die down a little bit, but it is shooting out to those corners. You're able to get something to either one of those pull sides for a right or left-handed hitter. But Cole Kramer walking up to the dish, he'll get things going here for TCU.
Kramer 0 for 3 last night with a walk as he makes his way to home plate. Taps the bat on the corner of the plate and is ready. Here's the first pitch from Barnett. Pitch missed up and in for ball 1. The righty, a little bit like Redeman last night, kind of an abbreviated windup, delivers, fastball missed off the plate, and the count goes to 2-0. Redeman would bring his hands back in the glove over his head, more like an old school windup. In the case of Barnett, he does not do that. He just rotates with the glove around chest height. Foul towards the far end of the UCLA dugout, and the count will move to 2 balls and a strike. Kramer, Strohschneider, Brunson for the Horned Frogs here in inning number 1. The righty deals, lifted in the air, foul ground off the first base side. This one will be in and out of the glove of the first baseman, LeVou, as he was in front of the TCU dugout. Looked like he was going to make the catch, but he ran into the rail just about the time the ball hit his glove and it popped out. And when you go over to the opposing side's dugout, you're getting no help.
Yeah, absolutely no help. You look at even the replay of this one, no TCU players are even moving, nobody's saying anything, and that's just the way that it goes.
And it really actually caused him to miss the ball because he ran into the rail about the same time the ball was entering his glove, and it just popped right back out. Kramer flips this one in the air towards the right side. Easy chance for Aiden Aguayo, the second baseman. 2 feet planted on the dirt, makes the catch, 1 out. TCU with just 8 hits in last night's ball game to go along with their 2 runs. They were out hit 15-8 and outscored 10-2 in the game last night. Sawyer Strohschneider works his way to the plate. 1 for 4 in last night's game, cued off the end of the bat, and he's seeing nothing but off-speed pitches really since the start of the year. Barnett ready on the mound. Here's the pitch from the righty. Missed outside. Went with the fastball. Strohschneider comes into the at-bat hitting .267. He's got a homer and just the 1 RBI. Missed off the plate inside. 2-1 count on Strohschneider. We were talking about it before the game. You look at that 1 RBI and you go, for TCU to go where they want to go, that number for Strohschneider needs to be much larger than that. But, as you said, the pitch missed away. The bottom part of the order really hasn't been able to do much in terms of generating offense and being on base when Strohschneider comes up.
Yeah, RBI is very much a team statistic, too. There's a lot that goes into that. You've got to have guys in the right position that are filling up the bases with traffic.
Strohschneider hits it in the air towards deep right field. Back goes the right fielder to the fence. He jumps, it's gone. So Strohschneider, after we just talked about him, picks up his 2nd home run of the year. Brennan went back to the fence, ran out of room, and TCU's on top 1-0. And that's a much better start for the Horned Frogs.
Well, and right as you're talking about, he gets a fastball that's up, and all the secondary that he's seen, he's able to recognize this velocity up. This is a 91-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the zone, and just drives it out to right center field. And we talked about the way that ball is going to carry, especially to that shorter area out in right field. It does shoot out that way. It's a nice swing by Strohschneider for his 2nd home run of the year.
First pitch taken for ball 1 by Chase Brunson. Brunson hit a long home run in last night's game, counting for the first run of the game for TCU. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. The plate, ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Brunson's only hit last night was the home run. He did draw a walk. For the year, he's hitting .389. Leads the team with 6 runs batted in. Pulls this one foul outside of third. That'll leave the count at 2-2. Defensively, for the Bruins in the outfield left to right, it's Dean West, Will Gasparino, and Peyton Brennan. Roman Martin over at third. Rock Chalowski's the shortstop. Aiden Aguayo over at second base. Mulavai LeVou is over at first. And Cashel Duggar behind the plate. Breaking ball just missed. Duggar tried to frame that for the home plate umpire, Stephen Corvey, who did not snap the right hand up. So The count goes full 3-2 on Chase Brunson. Brunson waiting patiently. Here's the pitch from Barnett. Ripped foul past John DeLora on the third base coaching lines. Oh, good swing on the 3-2 pitch by Brunson, just a little out in front. Barnett ready on the mound. He rocks and deals. Fisted towards short. Chalowski feels the humpback liner on the fly, and there are 2 outs. Well, 2 outs, base is empty for Lucas Franco. The young freshman got off to a good start, but he's scuffling since the opening game against Vanderbilt. 1 for 4 last night. That pitch bounced in the dirt. And the count is 1-0. And for Franco, it's just going to be a matter of figuring out the way he's going to be pitched at this level. There's no doubt the talent is there, and obviously the coaching staff sees it as they've had him firmly planted in this number 4 spot. Popped up, foul or fair territory, third base side. Chalowski calls off the third baseman, makes the catch on the outfield grass for the final out of the inning. TCU gets on the board first in this one. They pick up a run on the Stroh-Schneider home run. It was the only hit of the inning. Led to the bottom half of the first inning here in Los Angeles. With the score, TCU 1, UCLA coming to play.
I'm in the car next to you on the highway. I sit in front of you on the bus. I'm 1 out of every 6 Americans, and I'm struggling with hunger. This isn't an uncontrollable epidemic. There's enough food in this country to feed every hungry person. Please, visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for those around you, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Bottom half of the first inning. On the mound for the Horned Frogs, the right-handed transfer, Lance Davis.
I talked about Davis's numbers from last week a little bit ago. Just 3 innings in that start. Obviously, Chuck, from a longevity perspective, Kirk Sarlos and Dave Lund looking for a little bit more out of the right-hander today, but that will be entirely predicated on where he's locating the baseball in the strike zone. It's got to be low, especially with what we saw last night from this UCLA lineup.
They can hit top to bottom, and the lineup looks like this for the Bruins today. Dean West in left field will lead it off. He'll be followed by Rock Chalowski, the shortstop. Uluvai Lavu, the first baseman, will bat third. Roman Martin over at third base is in the cleanup spot. Peyton Brennan in right field bats fifth, batting sixth. Aiden Aguayo, the second baseman. Cashel Duggar behind the plate will bat in the number 7 spot. Will Gasparino, the Texas transfer, will bat eighth. He's in center field and batting ninth. The DH today is Trey Godoy. Everyone in the lineup, with the exception of Godoy, was in the lineup last night for these Bruins. Well, it was the top of the UCLA batting order that did a lot of the damage in last night's ball game. West was 2 for 5 with a walk thrown in there for good measure. He takes the first pitch down and in, ball 1 from Davis. West had 2 hits. Chalowski 2 hits. Lavu had an unbelievable night at the plate. In their 4 strikes, he had 4 for 5 in last night's ball game. West bats from the left side, hitting .208 overall. Here's the pitch on the way. Hammered back through the middle, base hit. John Savage, the UCLA longtime head coach, built this program on the back of pitching like Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer, and the list goes on and on and on. And a lot of those years that the pitching staff was as good as they always have been. The hitting wasn't there. This team can do both, which is why they're the number one team in the country right now and projected to be go to back-to-back College World Series. Breaking ball in for a strike to Rock Chalowski. The favorite to be player of the year. He was 2 for 5. 5 runs batted in last night. He had a grand slam. Also a solo home run in last night's game. Swing and a miss. Took a little something off, had him out in front.
It's a really good pitch there from Davis, and it's again, that's the height, Chuck, that starts at the knees and then just dips further out of harm's way. Chalowski out in front of it, swinging through it. 0-2 now.
Chalowski, 429, 5 homers, and 10 runs batted in already. Went back to a breaking ball that missed low and outside. And it's not a cheap 429. He's 9 for 21. Middle infield playing for a double play here. Davis comes set and delivers. Misses low and outside. And we talked about it a little bit last night. You got to keep the ball away from this guy. And down, as you mentioned. Davis comes set at the letters, takes a peek at the runner who takes off. The pitch is in the dirt, and it's a stolen base for West. That's the one thing that UCLA doesn't do a whole lot of. That's just their second stolen base in 3 tries all year long. West able to get a good jump off of Davis. He gets himself in scoring position here. 3-2 pitch coming to Rock Chalowski. Taps it back towards the center of the diamond. Lucas cuts it off and then throws high to first base, and Chalowski beats it out. Going to third on the play is West.
Number 39.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a half swing there. It hits softly into the middle. Franco's got a charge, and Chalowski can get down the base paths as well. That throw just high and a little bit left of where Franco wanted it. Pulls Rob Liddington off of first base, and that little moment where he's off of the bag is when Chalowski crosses. It's another one of those mistakes, Chuck, that's TCU's not accustomed to. Another error here in the bottom of the first.
Mulavai Lavu at the plate. As mentioned, 4 out of 5 last night. The pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. He is hitting .591. 13 for 22 on the year with a homer. The lefty waits. Here's the pitch down low again. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Runners at first and third. TCU leading 1-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning, but the Bruins are threatening with nobody out. Infield back. TCU will give up a run in exchange for an out or 2. Breaking ball in for a strike. Defensively for the Frogs, it's Griffin, Brunson, and Strohschneider across the outfield left to right. Jack Bell over at third. Lucas Franco at short. Kramer's at second. Rob Liddington over at first base. Nolan Traeger behind the plate. Chop to the right side. Liddington fields, goes to second for 1. That's all they'll get. A run comes in as West crosses the plate to tie the game at 1 apiece. And now how big is that error? Although the run still would have scored, but it would have probably had 2 outs instead of just the 1. Go in the books as a fielder's choice, 3-6. And another good read. We've seen a lot of them so far this year from Rob Liddington over at first base, knowing that he had enough time to get the runner at second. Fastball strike on the outside corner. Roman Martin, a third baseman, hitting .353. Martin was 2 for 2 with 3 walks last night. Strike 2 called. Traeger came up, ready to fire down the second base. Lavu had taken taking a step or two towards the bag and then shut it down. Davis brings the hands together at the letters. Here's the pitch, way outside. Went with the breaking ball. 1 out, 1 on, a run in for UCLA here in the bottom half of the first inning to tie things up at 1 apiece. Davis ready on the mound, checks on the runner, turns and throws over to first base. LeVou able to get back in time with a head first dive. You know, after his performance last week, I was talking to Dave Wan on Tuesday night about Davis's start. Strike 3 called, he struck him out. Knee-high fastball strikes out Martin for the second out of the inning.
Excellent height on that fastball. You said it, right at the knees, exactly where he's looking to go with it. And it's a nice job of keeping that runner, LeVou, over at first base and getting yourself to 2 outs. Chance to get out of the inning now here, still with a tied-up ball game.
And what Dave Lawn told me about his start, he said, you got to remember, he didn't pitch last year. He hasn't pitched since he was in high school. And so, it's his first, last week was his first opportunity on the mound, not only in college, but after that long of a break. So, there's going to be a little nerves. There's going to be kind of a learning curve and some rust he's got to shake off, but they expect good things from Davis as the year goes on. Breaking ball just missed, according to Stephen Corvey, the home plate umpire. Left-handed hitting Peyton Brennan at the plate, hitting 200. He was 0 for 5 with a strikeout last night. Cut on and missed. Another good pitch from Davis. The righty comes set and delivers. Fastball missed up high. Quick throw by Traeger behind the runner at first, but LeVou able to dive back ahead of the tag from Liddington. Jackie Robinson Stadium sold out last night and sold out again today for this big matchup here this weekend. On the ground, foul outside of first. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sold out again tomorrow.
Especially with the way the weather's trending.
Last night it was very cold here, and once the game was one-sided, a lot of the people decided it was time to go on home about the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, climbed the ladder with that pitch, and got the swing and a miss from Brennan. That'll do it for UCLA here in the first, but they tie the ball game up. They pick up a run on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 man left on base for the Bruins here. We'll go to the 2nd inning with the score all tied at 1.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes. Hey bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Attention high school sports fans. Are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Texas needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Top half of the 2nd inning. Score tied at 1. Michael Barnett back to the mound. He threw 19 pitches in the 1st inning, giving up the home run to Stroh-Schneider. That was the only hit he allowed. He'll face Liddington, Traeger, and Brady Dallimore here in the second inning. Liddington makes his way to the plate. Rob was 1 for 5 last night. There's the first pitch from Barnett. Upstairs, ball 1. For the year, Liddington hitting .333. Has a home run. He picked that up at Globe Life last weekend. Pitch missed upstairs again. Looked like a breaking ball. It just didn't do anything. The shift is on for Liddington. We talked about this last night. They have 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. Swing and a miss. You see this shift all the time against lefties, but rarely against a right-handed hitter. Aguayo, the second baseman, is playing where Chalowski normally plays. Chalowski slides over in the hole, and that ball pulled off the third base dugout. And the count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then Rowan Martin, the third baseman, is hugging the line. He's not more than maybe 4 feet away from the chalk stripe and playing almost on the outfield grass. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Pull, foul. If Liddington hits the ball almost anywhere to the right side, except for right at LaVue, who's playing in on the grass and about where the second baseman normally would play, but Liddington will have a base hit because there's just a lot of room over there. Fouled that one back to the screen. So it stays 2-2 on Rob Liddington. Barnett waiting on the side. Now brings the hands together at the belt. Rocks and deals. Breaking ball missed outside. That one never had a chance.
That's a good lead by Liddington. This one well out of the strike zone into that left-handed batter's box. And he's shown a propensity to this, Chuck. Long at bats where he fouls off a lot of pitches and just hangs around.
3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He thought it was ball 4. He thought it was up and in. He was going down to first base, but he's rung up by Steve Corvey.
Well, the last pitch before was down and out. This one's up and in, but Barnett fortunate to get that called. Liddington didn't necessarily like it. He thought that was ball 4.
Nolan Traeger at the plate. Takes the strike. Traeger 0 for 4 with a strikeout last night. And for the year, just 1 for 14. After a great freshman year last year at the bat, this one on the ground. Aguayo on the outfield grass. Plays it and flips over to first base sidearm. They're 2 away. Quickly, 2 up, 2 down. Brady Dallimore will bat for the Horned Frogs with the bases empty. Dallimore just looking for that first collegiate hit. Swing and a miss, and he waves at a breaking ball that was well off the plate. 0 for 12 for Brady with 6 strikeouts. There's the pitch in the air, left field. Griffin drifting back, has time to camp underneath and makes the catch for the out. And overall, this is a much better performance for Lance Davis today than what we saw from him against Oklahoma last week.
Well, he's made that big pitch when he's needed to. You know, he's held UCLA 1 for 9 with runners on base. Just one hit with a runner in scoring position, and they're hitless with 2 outs. So it's one of those situations where things innings have progressed. He's been able to make that big pitch. The double play earlier was a massive one for him.
Will Gasparino has an RBI single at the plate. The throw over to first base chases Aguayo back. He stole a base back in the second inning, 1 for 1. And stolen bases. Lucas Franco cheating towards the shortstop hole on the left side. Good pitch from Davis, caught the corner for a strike. Jack Bell playing off the line deep over at third base. And with Liddington holding the runner on at first base and Kramer having to cheat up the middle, there's a lot of room on the right side. Strike 2 call for Gasparino, who we saw go to the right side last night. His double was right down the right field line. 0-2 pitch coming to Gasparino. That ball's hit high in the air, deep left field. Griffin back, track, wall, gone. That's the danger of Gasparino, his 4th home run of the year. And UCLA has extended their lead to 4-1. But if he can get his hands extended, that's when he becomes extremely dangerous.
Yeah, it's a really long and lanky swing. That's exactly what happens here with this one. It's a pitch that's just breaking away from him. He's able to speed the bat up a little bit. And for the first time, a little bit of separation in this game, as now it's a 4-1 ball game in favor of the Bruins.
13th home run of the year for the Bruins overall. That pitch missed for ball 1 to Trey Godoy. Struck out his first time up. I just when it looked like Davis was going to get out of the woods without any damage done, Gasparino touches him up for the homer with a man on base. Gasparino has knocked in 3 of the 4 runs that UCLA has here today, after Chalowski knocked in the majority of them last night. So it's kind of a one-man wrecking crew in each of the first 2 games. 2 balls and a strike on Godoy. Strike 2 called. It's 2-2. Deals. Here's the pitch, cut on and missed, and the inning comes to a close, but not before the damage is done. As UCLA picks up 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left on base. We'll go to the 5th inning here in Los Angeles. Bruins on top, 4-1.
The College of Communication here at TCU offers the ever-growing and always in-demand major of sports broadcasting.
Many ask, what exactly is taught in the sports broadcasting major? This popular field of study caters to us students that want to learn the skills to produce live and remote sporting events for both radio and television.
We acquire the skills to put together sports programming at the professional level, and we then use this new expertise to produce games you can watch on ESPN Plus or listen to right here on KTCU.
In addition to the hands-on experience, we also develop analytical skills to discuss and understand the social and cultural roles that sports play in countries around the globe.
If you would like more information on a rewarding degree in sports broadcasting here at TCU, please visit ftdm.edu. sports.tcu.edu.
Hey, this is TCU Baseball letterman Matt Carpenter, and you are listening to TCU Baseball on KTCU 88.7 FM. Go Frogs.
Now TCU down by 3 as we start the top half of the 5th inning. For the Horned Frogs to be Traeger, Dallimore, and Bell against Michael Barnett, who has gotten through 4, allowing just 2 hits to the Horned Frogs to this point. He's thrown 64 pitches. But once again, the TCU offense not able to do very much to this point in the ballgame. He did get the leadoff man last inning for the first time in a long time, but couldn't move him around. Really surprising that the offense has struggled for as long as it has. The pitch is outside to Traeger, ball 1. And throughout the fall and the spring, this was a productive offense, and a lot of these guys who are in the lineup have done it at this level before. So it's not like their first rodeo. Traeger takes outside, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes.
I said this yesterday. It was just all about starting to put together better at bats, top to bottom. And, some guys are going to do it at different paces than others. But a lot of times, you've seen this. You've been around the block. Hitting is contagious.
On the ground, Aguayo on the outfield. Grass gobbles it up, throws to first, 1 away. Yeah, when it goes south, it's also contagious too. So that's kind of where the Frogs are right now. A 1-out, base is empty for Brady Dallimore. Grounded to first on a check swing, his first time to the plate. Able to hold up on a pitch down and away. And Dallimore, a little bit like Franco, the 2 freshmen, they have seen nothing but off-speed pitches. And for Dallimore, when there's a righty up there, it's just breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. Got a pretty good pitch there.
But still a changeup over the middle. And you're right, everything is soft because he's starting to free swing a little bit more, trying to make that hit happen.
There's the 1-1. Dallimore watches it bounce in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike.
That's one of those things, too. Until you prove you can make the adjustment, hit it, that's all you're going to get.
The righty deals. Dallimore has to jackknife out of the way of that inside pitch. Well, the count will go to 3-1 on Dallimore. Now, in high school, he would almost be guaranteed a fastball here. But I'm not sure that's what he's going to see, even on 3-1. Let's see what Barnett dials up. Did come in with the fastball, but he missed inside. So Dallimore walks with 1 out, and Jack Bell will be the batter. Here comes John Savage out to the mound.
That's first walk of the year for Dallimore, too. First time we'll see him on the base path. So, for that, let's stick with that example. Now you start to see something a little different. You've gotten used to heading back to the dugout. Okay, well, now you're out on first base, and it starts to build slowly but surely at a time. And it will be fantastic if just generally up and down across the lineup you see a quick fix.
Home plate umpire Stephen Corey's going to go out and break up this conference. Yeah, there aren't a whole lot of quick fixes when you're not hitting. I'm sure Bill Mosiello would have pushed that button by now had he had the magic touch. Savage turns around, heads back to he stands over by the bullpen. Watch watching the pitchers warm up, since he handles the pitching staff, he stands at the far end of the dugout, not the near side like most head coaches do. Jack Bell ready. Here's the pitch on the way. Missed inside for a ball to throw behind Dallimore. He's able to get back. We were just saying he hasn't been down there. It's not quite sure what to do.
Base running takes reps, too.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. You know, it's funny, too, because, you know, nowadays every game's televised. They have scouting services. There's clip things. So they know exactly what the story is, and they know Dallimore has not been over at first base. So that's why they threw behind him on the first pitch. Hit back through the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. That's a little bit more like we saw from Jack Bell last year. The ball comes off his bat hot more often than not when he makes contact.
Just like that, couple of base runners got a little something going here. Horned Frogs, this will be their first at bat of the day with a runner in scoring position.
Colton Griffin grounded to short. Back in the third inning, he'll step in. This is a point where TCU really needs to take advantage of the opportunity. Trailing 4-1, middle innings. Just get something positive. Swing and a miss. And the count is 0-1 on Griffin. It's not necessary for him to tie it up with a 3-run home run, although that would be nice. A base hit through the vacated left side of the infield with Chalowski playing up the middle would be equally as good. And there's a big cut. He came up empty. It's 0-2. Third baseman Roman Martin well off the line and now backs up. He had been about halfway. Throw out to second base, but Dallimore got back easily. Chalowski was not even covering the bag. He was standing on the outfield grass. 0-2 to Griffin. Fouled off the end of the bat. So stays no balls and 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. 1 out. TCU down by 3 runs here in the top half of the 5th inning. Griffin pops it up behind the infield. Coming on Gasparino in center field, and he makes the catch in very shallow center field for the out. Well, now we'll take a 2-out base hit from Cole Kramer to get at least one of the runs in. This is a situation Kramer was very good at last year.
He took the words out of my mouth. How many times did we see him come up with an opportunity to extend an inning or cash in a run late in an inning like this? Just a response to the 2 spot in the bottom half of the 4th inning would be so big for TCU to stay in this ball game.
79 pitches now for Michael Barnett. Throws out to second. Picked his leg up, twisted around. This new rule is kind of weird. 4 or 5 years ago, that would have been a balk. So he picked his leg up and then wheeled around, and then there's nobody there, and he just throws it towards the nearest infielder. Fastball strike to Kramer. Kramer had a base hit to left field his last time up. He's also popped his second. He's down in the count. 0-2 here as he waved at a breaking ball. No balls and 2 strikes on Kramer. Dallimore out at second. Bell is over at first. That one up and in. Ball and 2 strikes. Barnett ready on the mound. There's the pitch from the righty. Kramer laid off. Again, a pitch that was up. That's a pitch we've seen a lot of Horned Frogs swing at over the last 5 games. Kramer thought about it, and then they wisely just stopped his swing. 2-2 count on Cole Kramer. On the ground, right side. That's scooped up by the first baseman. Lavui flips over to first base. The pitcher covering for the final out of the inning. TCU threatens but doesn't score here in the 5th for the Horned Frogs. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning with UCLA leading it 4-1.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to? Jeffrey.
Marcia Gay Harden? What?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have to visit brainhealth.gov.
Lance Davis still on the mound for the Horned Frogs. He's thrown 74 pitches so far in this ball game. He'll face the top of the order here in this inning. TCU down 4-1. I'm sure the leash in this inning will be pretty short for Davis. TCU's got a right-hander throwing in their bullpen.
Nate Stern getting ready down there for the Horned Frogs. You know, the best case scenario for TCU is that even with this being 1-2-3 in the UCLA order, Davis able to get through this 5th inning, you're able to scratch off another run or 2, and this becomes a little bit of a tighter game for Nate Stern to come in. That would be best case.
First pitch to Dean West is taken for a strike. West is 2 for 2. He's singled twice, both on line drives up the middle, just to the right of second base. And that hit him. So another leadoff man on base for the Bruins here. This time hit by the pitch. Second hit batter for Davis in this ball game, and here comes Kirk Sarlos, and that's going to be it, as he's already motioned to the bullpen for Nate Stern. So Davis's day is done. Stern will come on. We'll give you the numbers on Stern when we get back from his 60-second timeout. Listening to Horned Frog Baseball on KTCU.
The following message is brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach this problem of reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Your stuff can be a resource for change. Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org.
So Nate Stern comes on here, replacing Lance Davis in the top half, or the bottom half of the fifth inning with a runner on.
Stern, the 6'4", 215-pound sophomore from right here in Los Angeles. His second time out of the Hornfront bullpen on the young season. Inning in a third pitched on opening day against Vanderbilt. Gave up 1 hit, 1 run. He punched out 4 of the 6 batters that he faced and looked good. He's a guy, Chuck, that can get up into the upper 90s when he wants to. Coming in here now, taking over for the starter, Lance Davis.
Davis goes 4+, allows 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 5 strikeouts, no walks. He did hit a couple of batters and ended up throwing 76 pitches. And really, if you take out Gasparino's 2-run home run last inning, he pitched pretty well.
Yeah, a really nice comeback outing for him. Obviously, he'd love to have less than a 4 spot up there right now, with UCLA scoring in 3 of their 4 offensive innings. But you're exactly right. That one swing by Gasparino made this a much different result on paper than for how well that Davis pitched relative to last week.
Which bodes well for TCU moving forward. But right now, the task at hand for the Horned Frogs is keep this game right where it is, and that's the job for Nate Stern. And he will face Rock Chalowski to begin his outing here, which is not an easy task. Chalowski's been hit by a pitch. He's also reached on an error. Officially 0 for 1 in the game. But he's been on base twice, and he takes a strike from Stern. Comes set. Here's the pitch. In the air, right field. Strohschneider started back on the swing and then has to come in. Still has plenty of time to make the catch. He's got the sunglasses on as well, looking into the sun. And I can understand why your first step when Chalowski swings would be backwards before you started in on the ball.
If there's any question at all as far as depth perception, particularly with the sun in the face of Strohschneider right now, your first step's always going to be back. It's the safest option. You can always put that foot in the ground and come in.
A 1-out runner at first for LaVue. Throw over to first base, and West is back. He's got a stolen base. That came back in the first inning. It was his first of the year. Scored the first run of the game. At the time, it tied the game at 1 after Strohschneider had homered in the top half of the first inning to give TCU the lead. Cut on and missed. Good pitch. Nate Stern ahead in the count. No balls and a strike on Ulavai LaVue. Fastball missed outside, and it's 1-1. Another guy's probably going to have a pretty high draft status when this year's over. In the air left field, Colton Griffin circles around it, makes the catch. 2 outs. Runner at first base. Roman Martin will come to the plate for the 3rd time in the game. He's 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts for the UCLA third baseman. Stern wheels and throws over to first base and chases West back to the bag. Stern brings the hands together just below the belt. And now delivers. Good pitch on the inside corner. Looked like he took something off it. Well, 0-1. On Martin. Infield playing straight up and deep across the board with 2 outs. Strike 2 called. 2 good pitches from Stern. The righty ready on the mound, and here's the pitch. Chop towards third. Bell charging hard, comes up with a cleanly perfect strike across the diamond, and that will do it. So Stern comes on and retires all 3 batters he faces here in the 5th. No runs, no hits. Man left on base for the Bruins. Will head to the 6th inning here in Los Angeles. UCLA on top, 4-1.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind, like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind, like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama, like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We get to the top half of the 6th inning, and UCLA goes to their bullpen as they call on the right-hander, Wyland Moss.
Now, another right-hander into the ball game for the Bruins. 2 2/3 innings of work for Wyland Moss in his 1 previous appearance this year. Struck out 2, walked 1, and just allowed 1 hit. Moss into the ball game, taking over for the starter, Michael Barnett, Chuck, who did a really nice job today holding the Horned Frogs to just 1 run on a Stroh-Snyder solo homer.
Barnett ends up going 5 full innings this afternoon, allows 3 hits, just the 1 run. 4 strikeouts, a couple of walks, 84 total pitches. And right now he is in line for the win, should UCLA hold on. For Moss, he will face Stroh-Snyder, Brunson, and Lucas Franco.
Thank you to Jedediah, our junior announcer. Great job.
Stroh accounting for the only run that TCU has on the board. That was a home run back in the 1st inning. Flew out to left down the line with a runner on back in the 3rd, so he's 1 for 2. Once again, a little bit of a delay for TV to come back. This game being broadcast on the Big Ten Plus network. Still sounds weird. Moss's first pitch to Stroh-Snyder, who shows bunt, drops the bunt down the 3rd base line. Good bunt picked up by Moss, and he throws wild off the bag. A good job by the first baseman, Lavoie, to stop that ball from going down the right field line. And Stroh-Snyder's aboard to start the inning.
Well, it doesn't take much for Stroh-Snyder to beat that out. This one may be deadened a little too much if you want to get picky for him, but you've talked about how open that is down the line. He can actually put a little bit more juice on it if he wanted to. He can fly out of the left-handed batter box, though, an infield single on the bunt to get things going.
4th hit of the afternoon for the Horned Frogs. They've only been out hit 6-4 in this game, but the big 2-run home run by Gasparino giving some breathing room to the Bruins. Fastball strike called, and Chase Brunson's in the hole, no balls and 1 strike. He's walked and popped a short today. Had a long home run last night to left field. Fastball away. The count leaving up at 1-1. Infield back at double play depth against Brunson. Moss comes set and delivers. Brunson way out in front, pulled the string on him. Brunson with a big swing, but he came up empty. Ball and 2 strikes on Chase Brunson. There's the 1-2 pitch before it comes. Strohsnyder chased back with the throw. 2 more games on this California swing for the Horned Frogs. UCLA and TCU meeting for the 3rd time tomorrow. It's a 3 o'clock start in Fort Worth, and then TCU will play Loyola Marymount on Monday, a rare Monday afternoon game before flying back home Monday night. No Tuesday night game for the Frogs. They'll open up their home schedule on Friday night against New Haven. 3-game set. Fouled out of play down the right field line. I went back amongst the stand of newly planted palm trees. Well, the count 2-2 on Brunson. Moss gets the sign and comes set. Holding on to the baseball and finally delivers. Strike 3 call. Brunson stood up on a pitch on the inside corner and is 1 out.
This is going to feel like a ball to a right-handed hitter. It's a breaking ball that's just on that inside corner and ends up right on that black. Tough pitch to pull the trigger on because it is so far inside, but looks to catch the plate.
Lucas Franco 0 for 2. He's popped a short, struck out. Franco swings and misses. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, so good velocity from Wyland Moss. The righty comes set and delivers. Fouled off the end of the bat. Went back to the off-speed pitch. 11-mile-an-hour difference between the first pitch fastball and that one. To Lucas Franco. Took it low. Played off another off-speed pitch. I'll run the count to a ball and 2 strikes. Bunt base hit for Strohsnyder to start the inning. Brunson struck out a moment ago. Throw over to first base and Strohsnyder back. Stroh's not attempted a stolen base yet this year. The righty holding the ball, now delivers. Late swing by Franco, got a fastball, but fouled it off to the left side. Next weekend will open up the longest homestand of the year for the Horned Frogs. They'll play 8 straight at Lupton Stadium. Pulled sharply, but right at Aguayo, the second baseman. He goes to second for 1 throw to first, double play. 4-6-3 on the twin killing, and that will do it for the Horned Frogs. No runs, a hit, nobody left on base for TCU here in the sixth. Bottom of the sixth inning coming up. TCU down by 3, 4-1.
Lawn Smith Roofing, consistency and workmanship. Since 1974, Lawn Smith Roofing has been serving the Dallas-Fort Worth area's roofing needs. With offices conveniently located in Dallas and Fort Worth, Lawn Smith Roofing has you covered. For more information about how Lawn Smith Roofing can help you with your roofing needs, give them a call at 877-752-0766 or visit their website at lawnsmith.com. That's L-O-N Smith.com. Lawn Smith Roofing, proud sponsor of TCU Baseball.
Hey KTCU listeners, Jeff here with you. Just wanted to let everybody know that it's easier than ever to listen to KTCU when you're at home. If you want to listen to KTCU, it's as simple as asking Alexa, "Hey Alexa, play KTCU."
The choice from TuneIn.
You see, it's just that simple. Ask Alexa and you shall receive. KTCU in your home, on your Alexa device.
So first off, I hate you. The words cut through her lips like a Japanese knife.
This is TCU President Daniel Pullen, and you are listening to KTCU 88.7 FM, Fort Worth. Go Frogs.
Well, we head to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Nate Stern back to the mound. Stern came on last inning through just 8 pitches. As he retired all 3 batters that he faced after replacing his starter, Lance Davis. Stern will face 5, 6, 7 in the UCLA batting order here. Peyton Brennan will lead things off for the Bruins. He's popped to Franco at short and struck out. Well, there have been a couple of innings in this ballgame, and TCU's gotten the leadoff man on. They have not been able to push him all the way around. First pitch missed high and tight, ball 1. Lefty waits. Here's the pitch from Stern. Strike called on the outside corner. There's the 1-1 from Stern. Chopped on the ground. 2 hops towards second. Kramer charges, feels on the dirt, throws over to first. 1 away.
Stern doing a nice job of commanding the tempo and the pace of this game since he's come into it last inning. 3 quick outs last inning, a quick first out here in this bottom half of the sixth. You know, he's probably in the front runner spot for that bridge type of maybe longer relief arm that Kirk Saarloos has been looking for.
Aiden Aguayo pops it out of play. We've said it over the last couple of ball games. I mean, all of these games here in the beginning of the year are auditions to see, who's going to play where and who's going to pitch when. Pitch is up high. Stern just doing a nice job, really, of attacking the strike zone. The righty kicks and deals. Breaking ball. He went around. Tried to hold up, just could not do it. And Aguayo is in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes. Aguayo, with a couple of singles, one up the middle, one to right field in his 2 other plate appearances. Hits this one well towards left center field. Going back is Brunson. He can't make the play. Watches it ricochet off the fence and then picks it up and gets it back into the infield. It's a double for Aguayo, who's now 3 for 3 in this ball game. Second double of the year for the UCLA second baseman.
Middle of the plate and up right below the letters. It's the same pattern that we talked about some of the big swings last night for UCLA. They have been so good top to bottom of this lineup, just hunting the mistake, that pitch that floats maybe a little bit higher than you wanted it to, that breaking ball that doesn't necessarily break all the way. Aguayo putting this off the top of the fence in left center field. Horned Frogs lucky that stayed in the yard.
one out runner at second. The first pitch is in there for a strike to Cashel Duggar, who's 0 for 2. He's flown out twice, once to center and once to left. And, you know, you said earlier how hitting is contagious. And that's certainly been the case for the Bruins throughout the second base. You know, here this weekend, not missing mistakes. And on the other side, TCU's getting chances, but their mistakes are turning into pop-ups or, you know, or ground balls or two hoppers, or even if it's hard, hit right at somebody. Stern deals, missed low and away. A ball and a strike. Just kind of the way baseball goes. Checking his swing is Duggar. The ball was lost at Traeger's feet, but no advance by the runner, Aguayo, out at second base. Ready on the mound, checks on the runner. Here's the pitch. Strike call. And we saw the reverse of it for TCU back in 23 against Arkansas. That was a weekend that every mistake that any pitcher made to the Horned Frogs, they were not only hitting it, they were hitting it out of the ballpark, hitting it hard somewhere.
And a lot of that just comes with confidence, too. The confidence to pull the trigger on those and know exactly what it is that you're looking for.
Good pitch from Stern. He took something off the breaking ball and had Duggar way out in front. That was an awkward swing by the catcher, and he's down on strikes.
That's a nice job by Stern, changing speeds, goes to the breaking ball. Able to get another swing and miss on this.
Stern not out of the woods yet, though. He's got to face Will Gasparino, who's 2 for 2 at an RBI base hit back in the second, and then a 2-run home run that really, at least at this point, has given UCLA some breathing room. Takes a strike here. Now Gasparino, with the 2 for 2, is now up over 400, 412 batting average. Pitch in the dirt. And on the year, he's 7 for 17, with 4 of those hits being home runs. If he gets his arms extended, he can do some damage. That strike on the inside corner, that's where you have to pitch him.
Yeah, you have to bust him in, and he does not like that pitch in there. It's very apparent. Well, as we talk about, sometimes it's tougher for college arms to get in there with consistency.
There's the 1-2. They go back inside, and he fists it back to the screen, and you can see he's not comfortable with the pitch inside.
Well, and you see he asked home plate umpire Stephen Corvey there, is that a strike? And as he answers yes, he says, no way, really? I mean, that's because he's so big and long, it feels a little bit more unnatural to him. That's why you got to keep going back to that well.
Went back inside. Did he get the swing and a miss? No, they appealed down to the first base umpire, Chris Torres. He started around and then was able to hold up. But again, that's exactly where Stern has to attack Gasparino if he wants to get him out.
Yeah, you could spin something down and away, try and get him to swing over, but you've got to make sure it's down.
There is the breaking ball, and he taps it foul down the third base line. You know, Darryl Strawberry was long and lean like Gasparino, but he would stand further away from the plate than Gasparino does. So even if you tried to pepper that inside corner, it wasn't jamming him. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Big pitch by Stern as he gets out of trouble after giving up the double to Aguayo. No runs, one hit, one stranded for the Bruins in the 6th. We go to the 7th inning. TCU trailing UCLA 4-1.
3 reasons to listen to KTCU instead of commercial radio. Number 1, you won't hear the same song 50 times in one day.
Gosh, don't you love the new Radiohead?
Yeah, it's like I notice something new every time I hear it.
They've played it on the Knife 27 times today, and I'm still not sick of it.
Number 2, no obnoxious morning DJs. Hey, Tex, you know what a really funny word is?
What's that, Larry?
Panties. Number 3, KTCU is an educational station.
By supporting KTCU, you're helping college students learn about running a radio station.
And if we slip up and say things like granola, we're less likely to get kicked off the air.
Jared, you can't say like that on the air.
Sorry.
Plus, you know, the music.
Yeah, that's good too.
So keep listening to FM 88.7, The Choice.
We're at the top half of the 7th inning. TCU trailing UCLA 4-1. The Horned Frogs have had some chances in this game. They've gotten a couple of leadoff men on. They just have not been able to come up with that big hit to get them all the way around. And, you know, if TCU wants to win this game, I think this is the inning where they've got to try and put at least one run on the board and give themselves a chance in the last couple of at-bats.
Yeah, just 2 at-bats with a runner in scoring position for the Horned Frogs on the day. And that sample size just isn't big enough. Got to continue to get some traffic out there. And you're not in a situation here where this is one where you've got to have multiple runs in multiple innings. You can claw this back just by generating and manufacturing a couple of runs here.
Rob Liddington will lead things off for the Horned Frogs here in the 7th against Moss, who threw 12 pitches last inning. Liddington takes the strike. Moss gave up a bunt base hit to Strohschneider, and then that was it. Last frame. This one's hit sharply past the dive of the second baseman, Aguayo, who's playing on the third base side of the bag with that shift that we were talking about that they employ against Liddington, and he beat it. That's how hard that ball was hit.
That's a nice job of squaring it up, and that's how it's got to start. You just got to start passing it off one at a time. And it's been a while, Chuck, this season since we've seen TCU really stack up an inning where you're just one quality at bat after the other.
Well, they did it early against Arkansas. There's a strike to Traeger. And then they did it against UTA, but by that point it was too late. Traeger waiting. Moss delivers. Traeger takes strike 2 on a fastball down and in. Traeger's grounded to Aguayo twice. Moss comes set. Here's the pitch. Traeger swings and misses. They're trying to throw behind the runner over at first base, and he actually hit the bat of Traeger as he was walking away. Traeger struggles at the plate, really continuing here as he sees his batting average really falling. Came into the game 071. He's 0 for 3. His average now down to 059, and that's not like what we saw from the freshman last year. Brady Dallimore takes strike 1. Dallimore finally got on base last inning, threw a walk, or not last inning, but back in the 5th, threw a walk. Left stranded, still looking for the first hit. in a TCU uniform. Had a big swing, fouled it at the plate, and it's 0-2. And you talk about stringing hits together. Part of the problem for the Horned Frogs has been the bottom part of this batting order. You look at the numbers, once you get past Liddington, 059, no hits for Dallimore, 250 for Bell, and then 200 for Griffin. Now, not a lot of at-bats from all these guys. Pitch missed. But still, there's just not a lot of traffic on the base paths for the Horned Frogs.
Well, and that's what you mentioned with, with Sawyer Strohsteiner coming into the game, having just 1 RBI, now obviously up to 2 after the solo home run in the first inning here. There just hasn't been a whole lot out there for him to hit in.
Well, it does a couple of things. The pitch is in the dirt and a good take by Dallimore. For one thing, it changes the way they pitch to him. When there's two guys on base or something, you have to come in. You can't just sit there and throw one breaking ball after the next. Pitch to Dallimore, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts. He climbed the ladder with the fastball. And again, that's the 7th strikeout for TCU today. Jack Bell coming to the plate. He had a base hit up the middle his last time up. That was in the 5th. And he's also struck out. Lefty takes off the plate, ball 1. Moss comes set at the letters. Bell takes a strike on the inside corner. That's 1-1 on Jack Bell. Liddington led the inning off with a base hit. He's been firmly rooted at first base since that point. 2 strikeouts. Bell trying to keep the inning alive here. Lays off the pitch away. 2 balls and a strike on Jack Bell. Ready. They throw over to first base. Liddington able to get back. He really isn't very far off the bag. TCU trailing by 3 late in this game, and Liddington not one of those guys who's fast. Just slightly off the bag. Swing and a miss. Took a little something off. Had Bell out in front. 2-2 count now on Jack Bell. Moss gets the sign, brings the hands together. There's the pitch from the righty. Bell takes down and a little bit inside maybe. And the count full 3-2. That'll release Liddington over at first base. That fastball just off the plate. Bell swings and misses. He's down on strikes. So after giving up the leadoff hit, Moss comes back to strike out the next 3 guys he faces. No runs, a hit, 1 man left on base for the Horned Frogs. Stretch time here in Los Angeles. UCLA leading it 4-1.
And welcome back to the KTCU studios in Fort Worth with another quick scoreboard update, this time in the Big 12. It's a doubleheader in Lubbock today as Texas Tech takes on Albany. Tech takes game 1, 15-1, the final in that one, and then they squeak past Albany in game 2, 8-7. 8-6. So Texas Tech winning both games of the doubleheader. It's also a doubleheader in Lynchburg, Virginia, as number 25 West Virginia is on the road facing Liberty. West Virginia took game 1 2-0, and Liberty is leading in game 2 4-1. That one's in the bottom of the 8th. Oklahoma State leading Grand Canyon 10-7 in the top of the 8th in Phoenix. Indiana defeats Central Florida 6-1, the final on that one from Jacksonville. Houston leading UT Rio Grande Valley 5-1 in the top of the 5th. BYU on the road in San Diego as they lead 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Arizona State leads St. John 3-1. Kansas gets past McNeese 8-2, the final in that one from Lake Charles. And finally, Cincinnati defeats Alabama Birmingham 8-4, the final in Birmingham. TCU needs some offense to get things going. They still trail UCLA 4-1. And for the start of the bottom of the 7th, let's head back out to Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles.
Thank you very much, Travis. As Nate Stern remains on the mound, 27 pitches for the righty. And he's been a bright spot for TCU here today.
Yeah, he sure has. Doing what he can to keep this a 4-1 ball game and give this opportunity back to the offense.
He'll face 9-1-2 here in the bottom half of the 7th. Trey Godoy takes down low ball 1. Godoy 0 for 2. He struck out twice, once swinging and once looking. Stern delivers, cut on and missed, blew a fastball by him. Jack Bell off the line, in on the grass now, back up a step or 2. Lucas Franco cheating up the middle against the lefty Godoy. There's the pitch on the way outside from Stern. 2 balls and a strike. The righty deals. Stern misses away. On the count, 3-1 on Godoy, leading things off for the Bruins here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Foul back to the screen. Full count. The shadows of the pine trees all the way out to the outfield now. Strohschneider and Brunson still looking back into the sun. Ball 4, it's a leadoff walk. That'll flip the lineup over. It's a dangerous thing to do against these Bruins. Dean West coming to the plate. He's been on base 3 times here in this one after reaching base 3 times last night. A couple of base hits. He's also been hit by a pitch. Takes that one outside, ball 1. And here comes Kirk Saarloos. Los making his way out to the mound.
There's no action in the bullpen right now, so this looks to just be a conversation with his right-hander. Break up the rhythm, get him back in the strike zone here in this home half of the 7th inning.
And for Los and TCU, the best thing that can happen is Stern is somehow able to stay in this game to the end. At least until TCU takes the lead, because they went through a handful of pitchers last night. They still got tomorrow to cover, and on Monday for that matter. Short meeting on the mound. Los back to the dugout. 1-0 count on Dean West. There's the pitch from Stern, missed high and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Franco cheating towards the middle with the lefty up. Kramer's got to play a little bit more straight up at second base, especially with Liddington holding the runner on over at first. Here's the pitch. Fastball high, 3-0. Now TCU starts to get somebody up in the bullpen. held opponents scoreless in 30 of the prior 56 appearances. That's pretty good for a guy who doesn't throw very hard. But again, it's not how hard you throw it, it's where you put it. And how well you can keep the hitter off balance. Gasparino taking his time getting to the plate. He's 2 for 3 at a big 2-run home run. Also drove in a run with an RBI. Struck out his last time up, and he takes a strike here. And, even though the score is 5-1, it was the Gasparino 2-run home run that made it 4-1 that really put this game in different perspective. At the time, it was just 2-1 in favor of UCLA, but those extra couple of runs really, when you're not going well offensively, those extra couple of runs seem like a monumental task to try and get back. Quinn delivers. It's outside, ball 2. It's 2-1. In the ninth for the Horned Frogs, it'll be Brunson, Franco, and Liddington, but they're going to have to send a lot more than just those 3 to the plate in order to tie the game up. Fastball away, 3-1 count. Walter Quinn comes set. Here's the pitch. Strike called, full count. Base is empty, 2 away. Quinn brings the hands together. Here's the pitch. On the ground, foul outside of third. Another 3-2 pitch coming to Gasparino. Gasparino stepping out and asking for time. Quinn wanting to work quickly. Delivers. Swing and a miss. Big breaking ball. Got him out in front. No runs. No hits. An error. Nobody left on base here in the 8th for UCLA. We go to the 9th inning. TCU needs a 4 spot to tie. They trail 5-1.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Half of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Horned Frogs here against the Bruins. And for TCU, it'll be Brunson, Franco, Liddington, and then some. If TCU wants to come back from this 4-run deficit against Wyland Moss. Moss has been in there for 3 innings. He's allowed 2 hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts, and no walks. He has struck out the last 6 Horned Frogs that he's faced. Chase Brunson will lead it off for TCU. Takes the first pitch in there for a strike. Brunson's popped to short, walked, and struck out. 0 for 2. Pull foul, and it's 0-2 on Brunson. Well, if TCU wants to come back, it all starts with Brunson getting on base. Swing and a miss. 7 straight strikeouts for Moss. It's been an impressive performance out of the bullpen by Wyland Moss.
And he's pitching with all sorts of confidence right now, strutting around the mound. Oh, that's what happens. He's been able to control that fastball early on and has it established for strikes and been able to pitch ahead in so many of these at bats, Chuck.
Yeah, TCU just not able to adjust to the pitches that he's been throwing. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's all off of this fastball. It's in the mid-90s that he's been able to keep them off balance. Lucas Franco at the plate. Strike called, and it's 1-1. Franco today has grounded into a double play, popped to short, struck out, 0 for 3. 1-2 count, swung through it. Another fastball. Moss just getting the ball back from Duggar and throwing. Strike 3 called. He struck him out. This time he paints the outside corner. Left up to Rob Liddington to try and keep the inning alive. A 4-run deficit. They're going to need more than just Liddington to get on base. But has to start somewhere. Liddington has a base hit that came in his last at bat back in the 7th. There's a strike. He was the last Horned Frog to reach base against Moss, who came into the game back in the 6th. 3 2/3, 2-hit baseball, 9 strikeouts. And TCU's down to their final strike as Liddington fouls it back. UCLA fans all clapping, hoping to salt this one away and take the series here. Moss delivers. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. He strikes him out. Once again, he strikes out the side. And that will do it. 10 strikeouts for Moss in 4 innings worth of work, and UCLA takes the first 2 of the series.
Just another strong performance from the Bruins here. For the Horned Frogs, continue to go back to the drawing board, and you're looking to salvage one tomorrow. It's going to take a big effort from you, and you're really going to have to find a way to fight and claw from what's going to feel like the bottom going back to the hotel tonight.
We'll take a 2-minute timeout and then come back to wrap this one up from Los Angeles for you as TCU falls to the Bruins 5-1. Back after a quick 2-minute break.
Hey, Mom, can we go rollerblading?
No, not tonight, sweetie. Maybe another night.
Mom, parents who spend time with their kids in their younger years have a better chance of being close to their kids in those difficult teen years. I'm 12 right now, and when I turn 13, I'll become a whole different person, someone you won't even know. I'll be a roller coaster of emotions, sometimes so sweet You wonder what my motives are. And sometimes I'll burst into tears because I can't find my biology book.
Okay.
And what about when I start dating and bring home some guy who wants to take me away to Burma and live in a yurt?
A what?
How are you going to deal with that if we're not close?
Get your blades, honey.
Give your family everything. Give them your time.
Mom, I can't find my rollerblades.